Philosophy
wanna-
time.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll read Logic Comics. You can read
Okay.
mine.
So just do the same thing. Oh, hi there. This is James. This is my friend Elliot, and you're watching Philosophy Time. What is beauty, or
Yeah.
how can we talk about beauty?
So beauty is an example of a sort of family of properties or features or qualities of things that have often been thought to be not fully objective, not fully real, not fully part of the things as they are in themselves. To talk about something else that has some similar kinds of features, the lime has got these two kinds of families of qualities. On the one hand, it's got qualities like shape and size and volume and mass and stuff like that. On the other hand, it's got these qualities like color and taste. It's a natural thought to think that the second bunch of qualities of the thing, they're not part of what the lime is like in itself. They're not objective features of the lime.
The shape and the mass aren't dealing with our relationship to it. Is this the primary and the secondary quality?
So,
and which would be primary? Which the things that are objective are the primary qualities.
Exactly.
Okay.
Good. So beauty, it's natural to want to try and class beauty with the secondary qualities.
Okay.
And that would be one way of trying to cash out this sort of in the eye of the beholder talk. That beauty is a secondary quality. It's not a quality of things as they are in themselves. It's a quality that somehow we bring to the things, or it's a quality that such that things having it is dependent on there being observers of a certain kind. And thought of that kind of categorization is common between beauty and a bunch of other more lowbrow kinds of qualities like sourness and bitterness and tastiness and things like that.
Oh wow. Oh no.
So.
Okay.
So there's that kind of experience that you can have. And when you think the lime is sour,
Pretty sour.
Yeah, it's pretty sour.
when you think the lime is sour, what you're thinking is that you are one of the people who's supposed to have that kind of experience when you taste a lime. So that's one way to make sense of this kind of observer relativity and observer dependence of secondary qualities, is that when we think that something's sour, we're not taking a stand on what the world is like. We're taking a stand on our particular position or location or situation within the world.
So if we apply that to beauty, could we say that because one person has a specific stance in the world and another has a different one, that this person might think dressing like a goth is beautiful, and another might think, well, a flower print summer dress is beautiful, and that is a response to their positions in the world.
One of the things that's going to be hard in fleshing that story out is to try and cash out the parallel to the taste case more specifically. So in the sourness case, it's pretty easy, right? So there's kind of response dependence story about sourness, where you say to think that the lime is sour is to think that you're one of the people who's disposed to have that kind of response to limes. It's a little bit hard to see exactly how this parallel story about beauty is going to go. The natural, exactly parallel story to tell would be something to think that something is beautiful is to think that, to take yourself to be one of the people who's disposed to have blah response to it. And one problem in the beauty case is, well, what response exactly is that?
Couldn't we say what are put on the covers of magazines might have an influence on what we conceive of as beautiful? And then maybe if we get too much of that, you might say, well, we're going to react to that. And the other response is, we don't think that's cool because it's what the mainstream thinks, so we're going to go the opposite direction. And that those kind of things are determining our ideas of beauty.
People's judgments about what's beautiful being sensitive to what they're exposed to. In a sort of fancier and more social, less chemical way than our judgments about taste being sensitive to what we're exposed to, right? And it seems very plausible then that you might get people who are exposed to very different social influences making different judgments about what's beautiful, and those being sort of faultless kinds of disagreement about the beautiful. So you might get a kind of fragmentation within the culture or across cultures in judgments about beauty. And then one of the things that can happen with the sort of response to the dominant culture thing is you get these sort of splittings off of standards of beauty.
Right.
Have you ever seen these miracle fruit things?
No.
I've read about them.
So what these do is they they basically shut down your sour receptors for like an hour.
Okay.
Do you have urgent food? Do you have food things to do in an hour? Within
I
an
was
hour?
about to eat some sour apple Jolly Ranchers. But
All
I
right,
guess-
perfect.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it was different.
Mhm.
It's cool.
Wow, I really like limes now.
Yeah.
I was such a fool before.
So you can see there's this kind of variation in taste. In like you
That's
now
really
and you before have really, really different taste responses to the same things. And you can imagine somebody who always had the responses that you're having now to limes.
Mm-hmm.
And you and they would really differ about a lot of the things you would say about limes. And it wouldn't look like, and if you had somebody who they just, the way their taste buds were put together was that they were having experiences like this all the time, it wouldn't be like you'd want to say that anybody was making a mistake. You've got really making really different judgments about which things are sour, which things are tasty, but not because anybody's getting it wrong, just because you're put together differently.
So presumably you wouldn't really want to take restaurant advice from this person.
No.